Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to what is going to be game number 2 here between Fortune Bakery and Q Squad. Here in the Diamond Division, round of 16, our first cycle here for Hunter. It is finally here, baby. We're having a blast. What a way to kick things off. Of course, I'm Breaking CBK, joined by Tralfmador. And, yeah, this is just one of 8 matches, technically, though, that are going on. So, actually, do want to real quickly go over a couple of other results. So we have them in front of me. One Trick Pony playing Lions. One Trick Pony's actually up 1-0 there.
Ooh.
So, One Trick Pony, man, they're looking good.
OTP.
They're looking good lately. Yeah, it's Archie Tiger. So, the one player I know in that team that comes to mind. But Complexity's 1-0 over Pencils. Domain of Pain and TT Esports, they actually did play their first game. And Domain of Pain did, it seemed like even stomped TT Esports. Now, of course, TT Esports, they are playing without Slicks now. Slicks is now a part of Vote. We'll go over all that later on. But anyways, those were a couple of results that definitely stood out to me that are going on. If you go to the brackets, actually, on HoNtour.com, they are updated as the games get finished. So you can check it out for yourself there. But, Tralf, game 2 has started. Are we ready?
We're ready.
We're ready.
We're ready.
You guys are ready. You should be. All right, game number 2. Let's take a look. Q Squad taking on Fortune Bakery.
I gotta say, for all the fanboys out there, so they can go crazy, is Moon Queen was played by Angry Testy in Domain of Pain versus TT Esports and went like 650 GPM. Pretty crazy. Anyway,
I have that right here on the screen actually to show. So, yeah, Rex Car Vroom, also known as.
Why doesn't he just play on his
I
damn
don't know.
name?
I don't know why. We should really enforce that. Come on, Milkfed, enforce that. I guess it
that's
his
the name he registered under. That's the name he can play under. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, this game at hand. Blind Band's coming out. Parasite Plague Rider yet again from Cookies. Same exact thing. And Monkey King, this time Ophelia and not Warby. So they want to get rid of the Ophelia this time instead. Locking first is that a Luna from Cookies.
You brought up a good point. Creams is actually now in as well for game number 2. He's in place of Meisty, who was playing last game. Of course, I believe he played the Magnus last game. They do have a 6-man roster, and actually they talked about that going into game 1, how they had 6 players on. They were like, this is actually a rare problem. We have 6 players on. But so Meisty played the first game. Cream's going to play the second game, though. And we'll see, pending on a game 3. But, of course, they're up 1-0. So victory here for them, and, well, they're moving on to the round of 8 here in the Diamond Division. So this has definitely been a fun team to watch. As you did say, I mean, it seems like they have been a little bit inactive when it comes to scrims. A lot of these teams that were not at DreamHack, I mean, it might be safe to say, obviously there wasn't a whole lot going on for them. When it came to even scrimmaging against these teams or just playing in tournaments, I mean, it really wasn't a whole lot going on outside of DreamHack. So maybe that's a fault of it.
Most of the teams that were at DreamHack were scrimming each other. So the teams that weren't at DreamHack, pretty much had not many teams to scrim. I mean, there were several, but not many. Anyway, Locks coming out. Bubbles Tundra coming out from QsQ. But I was going to mention one thing about Cookies and Oh, no, yeah. I mean, they haven't been scrimming, but the fact they're able to take a game off of QsQ here first round in HoN Tour, and QsQ was a team that, I mean, you thought had going the entire way for DreamHack. It says a lot about Cookies and crew.
It does. This is a skilled team. Again, a very skilled team and a very entertaining team to watch, actually. And no doubt this has been a team, like I said, especially with the HoN Tour qualifiers, this has been a growing team on a lot of people as far as, gaining a fan base as it's well-deserved. And, again, they won the first game, but it is a best of 3. And, Q Squad is a team that I'm sure they could definitely buckle down, especially being led by Nova, and force a comeback here to eventually into that game 3. But we'll see what happens. The locking phase continuing. Actually, look at that. Cookie's spending a lot of time here. He's already down to 18 seconds and counting as far as extra time goes. I don't know if he just happened to go AFK or they're just seriously thinking about it. But Aluna was that first lock, as you mentioned. Bubbles Tundra, the follow-up.
He's going to random
There's
lock.
There's a torture. Is it going to be Fade? I mean,
that's what I was
for
thinking.
them. Yeah, it's
random lock.
He left it to fate.
Maybe he's DC'd. I don't know.
He left it to fate. Yeah, either he just simply went AFK, or if he times out here, then yeah. But okay, no, he's here. He just Revenant's locked. I know you like Revenant.
I love Revenant.
Fate is on your side, Trev.
Yeah, I think he was just AFK.
Yeah. Oh well, I don't think that we're gonna have a remake. I hope not, to be honest. I don't think it's
No, that'd be silly to remake. I mean, you have the time there for a reason. It's almost kind of rude to just remake because he kind of wasted QsQ's time if that's the fact. Oh, he forgot that they had 2 locks, as he mentioned to me. He goes, don't worry, we're good.
Forgot. Man, talk about the lack of practicing lately. It's,
yeah.
It's clearly taking its toll. But Pharaoh is going to be the final lock, so yeah, apparently we're still just going to move on with this. Again, it's not like they got the hero picked them, so at least it's not that bad. It's just in the lock pool. Still, the other 5 heroes are very, very strong, but
see, that's...
Well, go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. That's the thing is Fade was immediately banned by Nova. I feel like that would have been a wonderful lock there for Cookies, but nonetheless, they get the better hero, which is Revenant.
Yeah, I mean, especially exactly right. Especially, you know, again, as you said, if it wasn't a technical issue, it's simply he just forgot. I mean, hey, that's not Q Squad's fault. No one else's fault but yourself. So you're right, though. I mean, they didn't allow them to lock maybe that Fade, and sure enough, snap banned by Nova. So speaking of all the other bans, Keeper of the Forest, Fade, Draconis, Pebbles, and Wild Soul. And now it's on Q Squad with the final ban. And last game it was a very support-heavy lock pool, remember. This time around you got the Aluna in there, and I guess Revenant somewhat, maybe. But yeah, not really. Warbeast is the final ban, though, coming up for Nova. Remember, they banned Warbeast last game with the blind ban, actually. Banning him here in the regular banning phase. Tempest is going to be the very quick, actually, first pick coming up from Cookies, though.
Interesting, okay. They're going to go a little bit something different now. Lots of junglers are Banophilia, Keeper, Parasite. Maybe that's the reason to pick up this Tempest, and I feel like that actually is quite strong.
Yeah.
There's really no other jungler. You can do, well, there are several to work with. I mean, there is Warbeast. I'm pretty sure he's still unbanned. No, he actually was banned. Sorry. So there's basically Legionnaire. It's basically what you have to work with. And Tempest, I would take Tempest just straight up over Legionnaire, especially this early. So, and Mookie's plays a fine Tempest. So good pickup here from Fortune Bakery.
Yeah, and again, didn't spend too much time thinking about it, but nothing wrong with that. There's the Engineer Magnus combination, though, coming out from Q Squad. So
yeah,
that's deadly. Now, Nova isn't necessarily known for playing Engineer a whole lot. I mean, he has his Voodoo Gesture. Obviously plays a lot of Glacius, Aluna. Not a whole lot of Engineer, though.
Really?
Some support like Sender and whatnot, but...
Well, he actually used to play it a lot back when Fnatic was around. And
true.
They would have the tri-lane Behemoth Aluna and then like something like an Engineer. And then they would leave and roam around with Engineer and Aluna, and Behemoth would solo. So yeah, I saw him play Engineer quite a bit actually during that time.
Oh,
maybe not so much on QsQ, but
I was more so thinking recently, but yeah, you are right. I think that was even before Spider-Mine, so I think that was more so Tinker maybe, but...
Oh, no. It was
no, yeah,
Spider-Man has been around for a while.
Okay. God, I miss Tinker. Silhouette Witchslayer are going to be the final regular picks here coming out from Fortune Bakery. So
okay.
I think it's Solo Witchslayer. Is it looking like a support maybe?
Solo Witchslayer. But this is not going to be very successful against an Engineer Magnus. I mean, this is like shaping up to be the old complexity lineup where you would see a Solo Witch or Poly mid. Yeah. Almost all the time it was Witch. You'd have your jungle. You'd have your Suicide and Bubbles, most likely. And then probably a Luna as a support for Silhouette. Maybe even Torture. But the thing that changed was you had a lot of aggressive dual lane mids that would just own, and then you'd have a jungle, and then something that could also Suicide very effectively, and then a solo short. There's the Dark Lady for solo short probably, yeah, it just doesn't work that well against a very aggressive Magnus Engineer lane. So I don't know if I really like how the lineup is shaping up for Fortune Bakery. I love QsQs though.
Now Fortune Bakery again, he doesn't have any extra time, so kind of forced or rushed in that sense that he needs to make a fairly quick decision. Is it going to be Pharaoh with the first pick? Yeah, very interesting. I mean, it's safe to say maybe QsQ would have gone on themselves. Jonathan plays that fantastic Pharaoh, but yeah, I definitely did not expect that coming out from them. But he left over Tundra, Bubbles, even a Luna.
Luna Bubbles. I feel like a Luna Bubbles, you could just do 2 different dual lanes, a Luna Dark Lady top. Magnus, yeah, there you go. Magnus Engineer mid, Bubble Suicide. That's a very strong way to run it up. They do actually pick Revenant.
I love it.
So maybe they have a strategy. Should be fun to watch.
That is hilarious.
I mean, jokes aside, QsQ's lineup is ridiculously strong.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Q Squad definitely has the, on paper, better lineup, I think it's safe to say, but... how about that? I mean, they leave it to Fate to lock their final hero. Now, obviously, Cookies was more so he just simply forgot, apparently. But Fate locked Revenant, and Fate, Fate's coming through, apparently. We're going to actually see Revenant picked up here.
It's going to be
support Revenant, is it? It's going to be a and everything went downhill from there.
I hate support Revenant. You just... Yeah. Especially, it's going to be hard support Revenant. So he's not going to get really any farm.
Yeah.
Which, Revenant, you have to have some farm. Like, you can maybe run him as second support, but hard support, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, well, the few games we've seen Revenant, at least myself here on HoNcast even, we've seen him more in a solo, even a semi-carry role, and he does damage, man. I mean, if you get him some decent farms, some decent levels even early on, he will do a lot of damage. But, in this sense now, that's not to say that he can't play more of a pure support. I mean, I understand that, that might not be the most attractive, but he does have some fairly good abilities that can still be, decent, of course, if he plays that pure support role. So it's not the worst thing in the world, but it is unfortunate. Yeah, I agree with you, of course. I prefer to see him play to more of a solo, even a farming role. But
the thing about hard support Revenant is if you're going to have a hard support Revenant or a hard support hero at all, and you're always going to, it's much more effective, in my opinion, to have that hard support that has a stun. Like, if you're not going to be getting items, then it would be much better to rely on your spells early on to set up kills, and the best way to do that is through stuns. And Revenant doesn't have any of those, so that's the one thing I fear for this lineup, at least early on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a fair point to bring up. So I am very curious, especially now playing that pure support role. How is he going to build, actually? As far as the skill build goes. I mean, does he level up the Defile? Does he actually go for a max out mortification for Amp Magic? I mean, who knows? But do you have an idea yourself as far as what you'd think to see? But
for hard support, I honestly don't know. Like, it might even be best to just go 1-1 and start maxing your Shroud so you can run around faster, or run around the map with a longer duration of an invis.
Yeah.
I always, when I play solo Revenant, and as the way I feel like he should be played, I always max Mortification. It's guaranteed damage. You cast it, it reduces armor. You can also farm with it, and you don't have to do anything. It's just like you cast a spell, and then it already does it. A lot of people would, for some time, max out Defile, which I think is just not the right route to go. The slow doesn't scale. It's just static, 20% at all levels, and then, of course, a second 20% after the second time you hit him. But, yeah, support Revenant, I think probably still maxing out Mortification is probably the smartest thing to do. But I could see, if he does max out Shroud, I could see your logic behind that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Of course, sitting in the pause here, apparently having to take a quick break, but going to be resuming hopefully shortly here in what is game number 2 between QsQ and Fortune Bakery. Of course, Fortune Bakery up 1-0, as you can see on your screen. This is the round of 16 here from the Diamond Division, cycle number 1. Quick note, too, again, just to reiterate, we are going to be covering another best of 3 here. It'll be from the winner's bracket round of 8, actually. There's definitely a lot of possibilities that are looking pretty attractive as far as ones that we want to cast, so looking forward to that. Another result, by the way, while we are just real quickly waiting, Vote did actually get a forfeit victory over Experience Gaming. Of course, Experience Gaming, that's Loda, Ake, they're coming fresh off that DreamHack victory for, of course, Dota 2 over there, and big congratulations to them again. Weren't able to make it today, unfortunately, so maybe still caught up in that. We'll see, of course, where that leads. But Vote did get a victory. Now, the interesting thing there, of course, is Vote is actually now they had a roster change, and they picked up a player. You may have heard of him, Slicks.
Who's
actually
that?
Is now a part. I know we've never mentioned the name before here on HoNcast.
Must be a noob.
Must be, right? No, he is now a part of Vote, and I'm not exactly sure who he even replaced yet, to be honest. I've heard it was Sender. I'm not sure, though. I don't know who the roster actually is for today. But
it's not confirmed, but I'm pretty sure it's been talked about that it is going to be Sender.
Yeah.
But, again, it's not confirmed, so don't get ahead of ourselves.
But so is that case. So he went to Vote. Enzo actually replaced him for now, actually leaving Domain of Pain and joining TT Esports. And actually, as a result of that, Domain of Pain picked up Naruto.
Or actually, I guess it said Naruto.
And then somebody else. Who was the other one that they picked up, actually? There was somebody else. I'm blanking, though, as far as who they picked up. Anyways, you can check out the roster on the site for if you are very curious. But so, yeah, that's a couple of roster changes going around, to say the least, here, going into our first cycle for Diamond. But anyways, the game is commencing. Of course, you see the Hellborn team, QsQ. They get to place the word aside, not running into anybody, though, and they're just going to fall back through the lanes here.
And I actually do have another update. Complexity did play their second game versus Pencils, PNIS.
Just love saying the tag after.
And they did win, so they 2-0'd Pencils. So they will be moving on to the next round, and that's good for Complexity, obviously.
Let's just say that that next round match may be one we're looking at, so maybe expect Complexity versus, because they play the winner of the TT Esports Domain of Pain series, so
interesting.
That's possibly a good matchup there. We'll see. But anyways, that's ahead of us. We got the match now. QsQ taking on Fortune Bakery. And again, seeing the lane setups. Witchslayer is going to be bottom, man. Short bottom, not too bad in that sense, but he is going up what looks like to be a tri-lane setup down here. The Magnus Aluna Engineer. Who's going to be getting farm? I don't even know. I mean, okay, it is a hatchet on Magnus. Yeah, I didn't even see the hatchet initially. I was like, who?
Ooh,
they're
that
diving.
was so close.
Yeah.
That was so close. Witchslayer's got to be very careful, though. They should know. They should get a heads up right about now that Bubbles is mid and a solo short Dark Lady that, you know, it is a tri-lane down here. So, Witch, you can't get aggressive. You can't get crazy. The stun comes out, actually pushes Cookies away. Not exactly the best stun coming out from Nova, but, I mean, this setup, I'll tell you, I love Bubbles mid. I love Bubbles mid. The fact that he's almost impossible to kill, and he can still get farm because it is the mid lane that constantly pushes back and forth. Actually, Cookies. Oh no, the stun actually missed from Swagmas, or Magnus being played by Style in this case. And as well as the power throw from Aluna, so many spells being missed down here. The dodge master himself, Cookies. But again, yeah, the wave is pushed up, and now all hell is broke. He's not going to be able to do anything down here with that. You see the roam coming out from Aluna now, going to make his way towards mid, at least for the time being. And Revenant is in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, Song of the Sea, couple more auto attacks. Not going to be enough health potion going to be used just in case. He will be fine. Nearly a Bloodlust kill coming out for Bubbles, though. I mean, he said he loved Bubbles mid. He nearly got a counter kill on a Revenant right there for the Bloodlust. So that would have been a hell of a start. Nonetheless, he still will force Revenant to fall back. And, of course, well, he doesn't even have any more regen on him, actually. So yeah, he'll have to even have a send to him. But, yeah, very good start for Bubbles being played by Jonathan here in the middle lane. Yeah,
I really like the Bubbles solo mid. It's really, really fantastic for the reasons I've mentioned. The one thing that Fortune Bakery has going for them is the Tempest. He's basically going to be able to get free farm in the jungle, and that's fantastic for him. Revenant, as a result, has made his way towards the bottom lane to help out Cookies, and that is the right decision. Absolutely fantastic decision. You can see sometimes teams just kind of stuck into their own set of like what they want to do and just don't want to do anything with that. You think, okay, Witchslayer Revenant lane, that's very awkward. That's kind of weird. You never see that. But it's double range. And it is pretty volatile against this Magnus and Engineer. Maybe Cookies is trying to bait something out right here.
Oh, Engineer going melee form apparently. He just charges into Witchslayer right there. In comes the Lavaster stun though. There's the keg stun, but now Revenant joins the party. Defile's activated. They're going for Magnus, but Witchslayer dropping low. But there's a Shroud actually coming out and to help save Witchslayer and get away. You see the Defile activated onto Engineer right there, so slowing him down a little bit. Some burst damage. Tempest being played by Mookies. Not going to get there in time though, so that was an interesting exchange between the two teams right here. But when it's all said and done, nobody dying just yet, so still without the Bloodless kill here in game number 2. So.
And early on, obviously, Dark Lady's having a better time up in this top lane with the transition of Luna to top, but, GG Slaya playing this Pharaoh is able to snipe out a couple of CS with that leveled up Tormented Soul. Luna's playing very far up, but early on, things are going to go pretty well for Fortune Bakery. They don't have, well, I can't say they don't have a hard kill. What am I talking about? So they have Silhouette, and he's doing just fine in mid, being 16 and 10 against Bubbles, who's 8 and 3. So relatively even, but early game so far.
And actually, found this interesting that Silhouette, speaking of her, she's being played by King Plato. Played a hard support Luna last game. So
yeah,
talk about a complete role change there from hard support to hard carry. But, maybe that does go back to these teams like Fortune Bakery who aren't necessarily as experienced nor defined as other teams, like even QsQ who they're playing against. It seems like that is more of a likely thing to happen where players may play hard support one game and, well, hard carry the next, kind of like we have here. But
yeah. Bottom lane, Bubbles is trying to get something, but Mookie snipes out that regen rune. So fantastic job by Mookie, camping those runes when he can. That's what you really have to do as a jungler, especially when you have the lane setup that you do with like Magnus Engineer. I think maybe Nova could have walked down there and roamed just a little bit, but yeah, fantastic job by Mookies. And he's farming very well as a result.
Yeah. We see Luna kind of juking a couple power throws here at the top lane, but not going to really phase GG Slayer that much. He's just sitting up here, as you mentioned earlier, just using those Tormented Souls, harassing a little bit of damage as well as even getting some creep kills in there. So he's now 10 and 2 actually, not too shabby.
Yeah.
Darkly though, 25 and 14. Clearly Nox is having a very good time. He has the Ring of the Teacher on his way to, well, will most likely be Ghost Marchers here. And we'll see where he eventually goes from there. So, yeah, but Pharaoh, again, not having the worst time here. But as you mentioned, too, Silhouette in the meantime in the middle lane, also having a fairly good time. And now 23 and 15. Boots in Ring of the Teacher also picked up for her. What do you make of that? I mean, Silhouette actually not going the bottle build here despite being in the middle lane of the Ring of Teacher.
I think it's fine, honestly. Like, to me, it seems like sometimes a waste of 600 gold. If you compare it to, like, all the time you see Silhouette in the short lane, it's like, would you ever buy a bottle on Silhouette in the short lane? No. So it's like, if you buy a bottle in mid for Silhouette, yes, you are mid, you can have the rune control, but you just feel like you've wasted 600 gold on something that's actually going to directly help you with stats. Or the sustainer, obviously, to give you that regen. So I think it's fine.
Yeah. Ooh, Silhouette playing very aggressive there against Bubbles, actually. And you see the positioning that he has on her, or Bubbles in this case, actually using the tree grapple. Kind of a threatening move right there, so forces Bubbles to fall back. What was that?
Aluna might have been in a little bit of trouble right there. The boots coming out. Actually, no, Pharaoh just seemed really fast for some reason. He has 310 movement speed. I thought it was actually lower than that.
Not too bad, actually. He is level 6 now, too. Jeez. So.
Yeah.
Man, he's at the first level 6 in the game. Hold on thought for a second, though. Bottom lane in the meantime, we have Witchslayer dropping pretty quickly. Great Graveyard at the last second, though. And that might be the saving grace. Magnus does have a lava switch. It's maximum range. It will connect, and down goes Witchslayer. So Bloodlust kill finally coming out for QsQ right there. Cream's dodging the keg stun, and he will survive, but great chase from Style and Nova right there, and Style eventually picks up the Bloodlust. So Witchslayer, you said it, man. It's going to be troublesome for him down there. And even with Revenant coming in, though, that is still a deadly combination in Engineer Magnus.
Yeah, I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world. Actually, they might be able to get an invis onto Tempest if Cookies comes back in here. They can get a good ultimate from them. They do actually have – Nova actually has a Ward of Revelation right here, but Magnus does not have enough mana. He does have a power supply. He needs to use that and try to stun away. The stun's coming out. No, he doesn't get it off in time. So I feel like he actually could have used his power supply, if not just his Steam Bath, because it would have stopped the Glacial Blast stuns coming out from Tempest.
Yeah.
So kind of a misplay there from Style.
Yeah, he definitely had that mana breader with charges. Fair in the meantime at the top lane, gonna barely poured out in time as Aluna collapsed on him with Dark Lady, of course, charging in. So good getaway coming out from GG Slayer, playing that Pharaoh, of course. And at the bottom lane, speaking of going back to it, Tempest is now going to assist a push here, as you see the turret just dropping immediately, using those elemental replicates in this case. So this tower is gonna drop fairly quickly, actually. The elementals still have about 6 more seconds before they're going to despawn here. It's not going to be in deny range, but it's going to be very close, and maybe with the next creep wave, we could see them pushing out. But yeah, how about that? I mean, the Ward of Revelation that was picked up by Nova, already placed. You know, kind of a heads up there, of course, playing against that that Revenant perhaps, especially with that Essence, the Essence Shroud ability, but wasn't able to help him right there. Now he is going level 2 Mortification, as we see, so maybe he is leaning more towards the route that you were kind of hinting at there.
Yeah, it's just guaranteed damage, and it lowers their magic armor, so for heroes, especially like Witchslayer, having that lowered magic armor with that silver bullet's going to do a lot of work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's going to be huge, especially earlier on in this game. A big impact. I mean, sure, later game, you dealing a lot of physical out from Silhouette, not the biggest impact there. But actually, hold that thought for a second. Aluna's going to get dove on by Pharaoh. In comes a Wrath of the Pharaoh. There's the Mummy Wall and the Hellfire on top of that. Aluna's dropping. She's trying to power throw maybe, but Dark Lady joins the party. The taste coming out now. Pharaoh's in a lot of trouble with the power throw with the counter. Dark Lady chasing. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. Pharaoh just a little bit too quick, it seems like. Dark Lady a little bit faster with those boosts, dodging through the trees, eating one of the trees, even regenerating a little bit. But there's the next Taint Soul, and down goes GG Slayer. So had a good idea, definitely, in trying to kill Aluna himself. But Dark Lady was ready and got the counter kill. Look at the bottom lane now. In the meantime, Magnus getting locked down. It's going to be enough damage in the end. It doesn't look like it. Magnus does into Witchslayer, actually. There's the follow-up keg stun. They're going to go for a counter kill here on a Cookies. Cookies going to dodge. So another Revelation going to be used as the Essence shot comes out, but he will stay alive. Magnus now dodging away as well, but Tempest charged in. The Replica, or the Elemental is going to be spawned, and they get to go. Magnus, what are you thinking? Balls to the wall. That was not a smart choice. And Style will fall. And now Aluna's getting chased down, and Aluna, one round of attack. She will fall as well. QsQ, don't know about those decisions there.
One by one, just not the greatest decisions. And I mean, this Mortification, Creams is playing really, not Mortification, but Essence Shroud are being used very effectively. Cream's playing very well early on. So, you know, 6-man jumping in right here, right after Micey played a fantastic Magnus last game. So they're proving they got this.
Yeah. Oh, actually a great vulnerability at the last second. Excellent cut, but Tempest going to get caught out right there. Witchslayer dropping. Essence Shroud going to be activated, so Tempest will fall. He did ultimate right before that. It was canceled immediately. That is unfortunate, because that could have been big plays indeed. But now Revenant, he's on the run. Magnus stun going to hit. Bubbles with the auto attacks. And there's a great turnaround for QsQ. So when it's all said and done, actually, they not only get those couple of kills. Now, the tower actually was killed by the Legion team, but still, great turnaround from them at the last second.
I would have liked to see a port, actually, much earlier on from Pharaoh. He doesn't have boots yet, which is kind of awkward. But even when you're pushing the tower and you got a big exchange like that, and even if it looks like you're going to get a tower kill and maybe not get anything out of it, it's much safer to just kind of support your team and maybe be active. So I'd like to see Pharaoh be a little bit more active. He is getting good levels up here and sniping out. Actually, his CS is very, very low, only 16 and now 17 after that snipe. But Yeah, it looks like they might try to get a kill on the Dark Lady here, but Dark Lady might know something is up. She's playing kind of passive, just sitting back at her tower using the Taint Soul to get the long-range CS.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she definitely knows. I mean, playing very, very passive. Revenant and Witch Slayer running in, though. There's the Essence Shroud on a Witch Slayer. Is he going to dive? He does have a Silver Bullet. He's going to dive right here. In comes the Hex. There's the Wrath of the Pharaoh. There's the Graveyard. That's not the fall. She charging strikes, but she dies in mid-air. Magnus ports it, but he has no mana in the meantime. And now he's not going to be able to do anything. So he just kind of stands there and sits next to the tower. We'll be fine, but excellent dive right there. The Silver Bullet was used by Witch Slayer, and, well, that set up the kill, of course.
I think the biggest thing, yeah, Magnus porting in with no mana, so now not only can he not help them, now he can, well, I guess he can kind of farm this lane, which is okay, but now you're wasting the port. If they wanted to make something happen in the mid lane, they could do so. And now you have actually, yeah, that wasn't really, really unfortunate of the cookies, or sorry, Mookies. So many cookies and Mookies and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Did use that ultimate in the bottom. But yeah, this is going to give him a Q to push that mid, that tier 1 tower. And because Magnus has no port.
It's going to be close. Nova going to be, what a tree grapple right there from Silhouette. The tower will fall. Nova going to be fine for now. Dark reports that she's charging strikes away. Actually, awkward spot. The Kexon completely missing right there. Silhouette looking to turn this around. The Cupfoot going to hit him, but down goes Engineer. Will Silhouette stay alive? No, she will not. The great power throw at the last second coming out right there from Melee. Sets up the kill on him. Revenant with the Essence Shroud, though. He'll just run away. We'll be fine. Ooh, dodging the Shell Surf right there. That was close, actually. He needs to be careful not to get hit again, and yeah, he will be fine. So, yeah, interesting exchanging there in the middle lane. Silhouette, she fell, but man, speaking of Silhouette, even with that death, I mean, she's kind of been quiet this game, but right there, yeah, 375 GPM. She has a Whispering Helm finished. Mystic Vestments and Steam Boots on top of that. Top end in the meantime, Pharaoh Wrath of the Fur onto Magnus right there. Another auto attack, great counter stun, great power throw coming in though. Oh, the Hellfire! Oh, just arranged the tower Diagros, and he gets the kill. The Blood Chalice heal after that. Wow, what a chase from GG Slayer. Barely picks up the kill.
The tower changed targets to the siege unit, and that was really unfortunate for Style, unfortunately. In the meantime, Jonas Van does pick up a kill onto Cookies, so good job for him. He bottles up a DD rune on top of that. And yeah, I was going to say also Silhouette's farm is crazy. 72 CS, so really pumping out those auto attacks, and has a Whispering Helm. Fantastic pickup in this case. I don't think Nullstone would be the right decision at all. It actually could be good in the late game, as we talked about. There aren't really that many target abilities. There's actually, no, there's a Taint Soul, so getting a Nullstone against that is kind of useless. But yeah, that was really good by GG Slayer, the top lane, and as a result, it's kind of boosts up his farm to 230 gold per minute.
Yeah. Oh, in the meantime, right here, Graveyard going to be used onto Luna, and the final auto attack to finish her off. Well executed by Cookies there. He used the full cooldowns both between the miniaturization and the Graveyard stun. That's a big key right there. You know, he didn't stack them on one another. He used the full duration. So well played. Definitely deserving of the kill. In the meantime, in the mid lane, a Silhouette with it. That's a shot. Nice stun by, or a dodge by Magnus right there. An attempt at least with a Steam Bath. And that will definitely help him get away. So good, well played right there. But again at the top lane, Witch Slayer, the Silver Bullet coming off cooldown. He dives, knocks, and picks up a kill right there. So momentum really looking good right now for Fortune BK. I mean, I was going to bring up the point that we talk about the Silhouette versus Dark Lady matchup all the time, and it just seems to favor Dark Lady a lot. But especially if it gets to that late game stage. But right now, Silhouette is looking very good. And as a team, I mean, they got a portal queue already on Mookies too. I don't think he's even shown it yet.
Yeah, he's farming really, really well. They have a ward behind the mid tower. I'm actually surprised how well they're playing, considering they haven't been scrimming at all. Like, they're playing very well. Their movement around the map is very sound. They're making the right decisions in general. And especially Creams. They're playing this hard support Revenant. I mean, I was skeptical at the beginning of being a hard support Revenant, but he has really been playing well.
Yeah, and of course you do see he goes level 6 in Manifestation. That's his ultimate, of course, and at the first stage of it, it does make it so you can cast abilities while Essence Shroud is activated, as well as it applies a 10% bonus movement speed. So, of course, the level 2 of that I think is a really cool part, and then, of course, eventually level 3. I mean, that's huge. The fact that it spreads to 2 and then 3 is pretty damn awesome. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I keep going back to that. I mean, the fate locking Revenant, it really was fate here.
I forgot about that.
For Fortune Bakery, and they eventually picked him up, and they are making it work, man. You got to respect that. Pharaoh, in the meantime, Pharaoh needs to be careful right here. You see the Hellboard team collapsing, and the GG Slayer, he's going to be caught out. Nice mummy walls at the last second, actually, and that could be the saving grace. Magnus stuns in, but the rest of the team support is going to be enough. Hellfire activated. Here comes Revenant, though, with some defile auto attacks, but it looks like Pharaoh will fall when it's all said and done right there. Temp is still just sitting up here. I mean, he is ready to go, but he could not find the opportunity, and I believe Mookies will just have to get the hell on out of here.
It seems like they were actually trying to bait something there, but he couldn't find the right opening, as you mentioned, and kind of a silly play, honestly, but Silhouette has the Mighty Blade, and so probably going to go for that Shrunken Head right now, and that's, I mean, this is perfect. absolute perfect items, but good sequence. I think maybe even a portal key in the mix in between it might even be the best route. But still, fantastic farm and good item pickups coming up from King Plato. And he did play hard support last game and played it quite well, and is playing Silhouette quite well this game too. But he really is their hard carry player. He does play a lot of Silhouette, so it kind of fits his style.
Yeah. We see right there, Pharaoh, though, coming back to the top lane. And, ooh, we thought about maybe initiating with a Port coming in especially. But Dark Liddy being played by Nox, he makes a smart move. Of course, he falls back and going to be fine now. She still needs to be a little bit careful, especially with that Wrath of the Pharaoh, that she doesn't get caught out on Witchslayer with a follow. Witchslayer, he's got to be close to Portal Key himself. He has about 1,700 gold saved up. So, yeah, he's getting pretty close. He went the Grave Locket with Steam Boots early on, but Portal Key more than likely going to be next in line for him. And, again, he's also going to be timing it well with hitting level 11, it seems like. So that'll be big with the level 2 ultimate. Revan, in the meantime, in the middle lane, coming in with a flank right here. Essence tried to activate it. Yes. The Tempest ultimate going to pull him in right there. There's a mortification. Silhouette joins on part of that tree grapple on top. Bubbles now dropping. Bubbles the panic shell surf right there. Not going to matter. Jonas the Fan will fall. And very well executed. Coming out from Fortune Bakery. The Tempest ultimate coming through. Witchslayer, in the meantime, takes out Dark Liddy, actually. Catches her off guard. He is now level 11, as I said, using the Silver Bullet right there. Fortune Bakery, good plays, man.
Very fun to watch. I mean, they're playing very disciplined. They had the Tempest ready to set it up the whole time. I was wondering, oh, you could go right now, but the best way to initiate that is with the Homecoming Stone, and then you go. You catch them off guard. They're not thinking about anything. They're just thinking about, we need to get away. They're not really looking at the map. Fantastic pickup. Or pick-off, I should say, by Fortune Bakery. And as a result, they're going to take this Tier 2 tower very, very easily. They're in a fantastic spot. Witchslayer now has enough for that portal key. Not like he really needs it because he's making big plays without it. Nox just simply cannot get the farm he needs against this very aggressive lineup.
Man, I mean, here we are. Fortune Bakery up 1-0. A very well-deserved first game victory. And they have all the momentum in the world here in game number 2. There's going to be a vote to pause, so speaking of momentum, I'm going to stall that for a little bit, my guess. But this is, again, 13 seed Fortune Bakery against a 3 seeds Q Squad here in the first round of the Diamond Division for our first cycle for HoN Tour. And we definitely have an upset in the making here. And Q Squad just cannot seem to really get it together. And I don't want to take anything away from Fortune Bakery by any means because, like you said, I mean, not only they're playing very well, but they're a lot of fun to watch. This really isn't the same Q Squad team though that we're used to seeing, especially going before DreamHack with the HoN Tour qualifiers and whatnot. Again, they finished 3rd overall in the qualifiers, above teams like TT Esports, Complexity, and whatnot. So, but they're right now on the losing end of the series, and they could very likely be knocked down to the losers bracket. Now, obviously, it is a double elimination tournament, so still in it by all means, but. Well, if they slip up again later on today, even if they got knocked down, as I said earlier, I mean, you lose twice today, you're actually going to gold for the next cycle. So, wouldn't that be something?
Ugh, gold.
I know. Just dear God. I don't want to touch that place.
There's actually a lot of money still in gold.
Yeah, no, it's still a respectable
I know
spot.
what you mean.
But yeah, Q Squad, that was a team you would figure just going to be diamond the whole time through. But again, getting ahead of myself perhaps. But
yeah, it's crazy to think about because they're lot of fantastic teams, but obviously 4 of them will inevitably go down to that gold bracket, and of course 4 of those top teams will come to the diamond bracket, and that's really cool, man. It's gonna be cool to see the cycling and the shuffling of teams into each division constantly.
It is. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, this is obviously it's exciting knowing that we're finally starting the cycles here. With the diamond, the gold, the silver, and of course the bronze, even with both the European and the U.S. region for the bronze division. But I mean, we have 9 cycles that we're going to go through. Seeing from cycle to cycle how things play out. I mean, one team will win this diamond division tournament, sure, and we'll find out next Sunday. Who the eventual champion is. But in the next cycle, could very likely be another team, and that again, it'll cycle through in that sense with the teams that are even winning it all. So. A lot of money going around, a lot of points flying around, just a lot of playing in general. I think that's a really important thing. It's a lot of activity is huge. I know a lot of it seems like after big events like DreamHack in the past, there's been a null phase of things die out for a little bit on the competitive scene. There's maybe a month and a half of not much going on. Literally the next weekend after DreamHack, we're here in HoN Tour Cycle 1. So I know a lot of players and ourselves here at HoNcast, and I'm sure you guys tuning in are really excited for that. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That's really fantastic. The Warhammer has been picked up onto Silhouette, so most definitely going for that Shrunken Head. I absolutely love it. I still think a portal key is going to be really, really useful. I really just think Portal Key is just a necessity on that hero. I know that the one thing that deters people from getting a Portal Key, especially with this build, is the fact that you don't really have that high mana pool as you would if you did go for the Null Stone. I totally get that. I totally understand that. But I still think that Portal Key will be fantastic if he decides to get that after his Shrunken Head.
Yep. Well, we'll see where he goes from there. Speaking of Portal Key again, Witchslayer has his own now. Cookies, talk about a recovery, man. I mean, again, this is the Witchslayer that was at the bottom lane. Initially, it was a 1 versus 3.
Yeah.
Obviously, that adjusted around and whatnot. He eventually got support from Revenant, and there's some roaming from QsQ, but he's really, really recovered and been. He's 5-2-2 right now. He's been involved in 7 of the 12 total kills here, and several of them have been by himself. Even I think picking off Nox specifically. So
they missed a lot of kills bottom though. Like starting off, the stun miss from Mag, the keg stun pushed him away. The snipe from Aluna was off the mark, and this was a. I mean, look at this tri-lane: Mag, Aluna, Engie. Like, how can you go wrong with that?
Exactly.
So they tried to initiate, I think, way too early, and as a result, they just kind of snowballed from there as far as not being able to get the kills. Then they had the roam coming out from Aluna to go from mid, then to top to help out Dark Lady. It just didn't work out.
Man, also another definitely standout Creams. Again, he wasn't playing in Game 1 coming in for Meister here in Game 2, but this pure support Revenant. I mean, he's 4-1-4. Look at the items he has, though. A power supply, steam boots, a bound die that he purchased. And he's buying the wards for the team. I mean, he himself, as a team, again, Fortune Baker just looking really, really good, of course, overall, but definitely some standouts here. And there's the Shrunken Head finish already on Silhouette. We're not even 20 minutes in. A Shrunken Head Whispering Helm on top of Steam Boots. Very, very good start. Now, Rune Cleaver has just been finished by Dark Lady, so Nox does have that to look forward to, but it seems like if you're the Legion team, if you're Fortune Baker, you could think to start grouping up now and start pushing with the items that you have and whatnot.
Pharaoh might be in a lot of trouble if he stays up here in CS too long, but they might be baiting him as well. We'll have to wait and see. Here we go.
The jump from Bubbles. No Kelfield, though, coming out, so they maybe expected something there. And sure enough, a Witchslayer jumps in. Nope, he's not going to get up. Oh, but the Wrath of the Pharaoh going to connect right there with Bubbles, so commitment has been had here by the Legion team. There's a follow from Cookies, and there's that quick kill on a Bubbles. The rest of the team, they're like, Jonas fan, we love you, man, but we ain't coming. You're dead, buddy. So they just run away. And, hell, that works out very well for Fortune Bakery.
Well, they have no counter jump. Look, you have it's not really a blink, but it's kind of like a blink-like ability with the Wrath of the Pharaoh. You have a blink Portal Key up on Tempest, Portal Key up on Witchslayer. You have the Tree Grapple. So you have lots of initiation, but you don't even have the blink on your Magnus in this tri-lane that he was doing the farm with. So it's 20 minutes in. Doesn't even really have that much, like, build-up items. He's got the Ghost Marchers and the Power Supply, but nothing like a Ring of Sorcery that you would think, okay, you want the Ring of Sorcery, you're going to have a little bit of a delayed blink, but yeah, they really desperately need that blink, that Portal Key onto Style. And even then, he doesn't have the level 2 Eruption, so it's not going to do that much damage. So they are definitely on the back foot here in the mid game.
Thought Bubbles actually fought back there for a second, but no, he just resurrected. Meantime, in the middle lane, though, ports are coming in. Witch there with the follow-up on a Magnus. Magnus going to fall right there. The Tree Grapple stun, and they're also going to deny the tower, it looks like. Tempest Portal Keying in, trying to chase down a Luna. Not going to be able to get close enough, though, but again, just another great reaction coming out here by the Legion team. They deny the tower. Bottom lane, it is going to be pushed in here by Dark Lady, so signs of life definitely for Q Squad, but Fortune Baker really just seems to be clicking on all different cylinders now in game number 2 here.
Dude, it's like they listened to me. Like last game, I was like, before they were all up in the top lane, they basically were trading. Oh, they do get the initiation onto Nox. He's in a lot of trouble. Gets the Hex out on top of that. He is going to die for sure. Mookie's just credit for the last hit. But, it's like they were listening to me. You don't want to trade when you have the upper hand. So they could have gotten an easy tower kill top, but they would have lost 2. They lost 1 bottom. They got the deny actually on mid, but that's exactly what you have to do. You want to fight them when you're ahead. And you want to defend your push, or want to defend the tower pushes. So they're playing really, really well this game.
They are, and it's, maybe obviously game 1 is fairly sloppy for both sides, but Fortune Baker really stepping it up here in game 2. A nice catch on the Melee. Melee was just simply trying to farm some yellow creeps, and Fortune Bakery says, you cannot do that, sorry. So they just drop her. Creams obviously with the assistance there. Bubbles at the top lane. He gets his Portal Key, and he gets the hell on out of there. So with the homecoming. So it's Portal Key now on Magnus. So this goes back to what you're talking about. At the very least, getting the Portal Key on Magnus, and they have it on Bubbles as well. So they finally do have a little bit of gotcha potential themselves, even some counter potential. But they are just so far behind right now. I mean, it's nearly a 12,000 goal lead. It is a 12,000 goal lead, about nearly a 12,000 experience lead in favor of Fortune Bakery, 22.5 minutes in. And then on top of all that, you still have the Silhouette, who is has another 14 or 1,300 gold. I want to say she has spot on something else because it seems like she should have even a little bit more gold. I mean, she has 425 GPM currently, and she's going to push up this bottom lane now a little bit.
Yep, she's going to do fantastic. The one thing I will say about Whispering Helm is it's been very popular lately, helping you farm, is I absolutely love Shield Breaker on Silhouette. I think it just dishes out so much damage. And obviously, you can't get both. I suppose you could if you're really good about toggling your orbs, but probably not going to see that.
We never see that, yeah. Other than if you're on your way to like a similar rage, but
yeah. Well, I guess absolutely. And I guess you basically use the Whispering Helm to stack and get your farm early on, and you don't really need the lifesteal that much in the mid game, but as you get to the late game, of course, having that symbol of rage. But then again, you don't really need the lifesteal. It's just there. It's an activated ability, so you can still use your orbs on top of the symbol of rage effect.
I also think that's why, in the end, Abyssal Skull seems to be a lot more popular for heroes, of course, like Dark Lady. And
speaking of,
speaking of Dark Lady, did she get it? Yeah. She has her Abyssal Skull. So heroes like herself and Mage Bane, when we did see him a lot, I mean,
right,
has died off immensely. I mean, hell,
I don't
still
know
confused by that. Yeah, not too sure, but Mage Bane is not seen anymore. So I guess that's kind of a good thing, though. I mean, a lot of people seem to always hate him. So
yeah, I suppose
maybe that is a good problem, but yeah. Kind of just went away. Anyways, what more? 2,400 gold saved up on Tempest. So Shrunken Head, and in fact, you look at the Hellborn team, they got nothing. If he gets that Shrunken Head, he has free reign in terms of his ultimate goes. So that's big.
That is big.
Pretty big.
And you got to think about it too. Tempest was first picked by Fortune Bakery, and it's been doing work. I mean, 2-1 and 4 Moki's playing fantastically, getting good farm, setting up kills early on, getting that tower push. Fantastic ultimate in mid. Just really snowballed right now, and almost 14,000 in both categories for golden experience. Firebrand actually purchased on Silhouette. That's fine too. I mean, his items, I'm so happy with what he's got right now. It doesn't really matter what he buys at this point.
Yeah. So the Firebrand and the eventual Geometer's been, I'm sure, from that, and his farm is taken off. The Abyssal Skull has been delivered to Dark Lady, so obviously Q Squad, as they really should be. I mean, they're definitely still hanging on in this game and gonna start to try to make that comeback trek here in game number 2, but it is going to be a long trek, that's for sure. They definitely are behind still by quite a bit. But Dark Lady, with that Rune Cleaver, it has enhanced her farm, as you always see. I mean, 340 gold per minute and counting now, but compared to the Silhouette at 433 and counting herself, it still remains to be a lot lower. So for now, Fortune Baker has seemed to calm it down a little bit. I mean, they have 16 kills still in 25 minutes, which is a lot, but it was a lot more early game aggression. This things for the last 5 or 6 minutes, it seems like they've been more in a farming mindset. I mean, getting those bigger items. The Shrunken Head just finished on Tempest. I'm sure they want to maybe get a Geometer's Bane on Silhouette, and then maybe we'll see a lot more aggression coming out from them. But
I think the Q was the Shrunken Head on a Tempest. I think that was the main Q. They can probably start pushing at ease. They have 2 more outer towers to really take before they push into the base, and maybe after that they can work towards that Geometer's Bane, and then possibly a Token of Life from Kongor. But here we go.
Essentrad applied to Witchslayer right here. They're going to find Dark Lady. The Silver Ball is going to come out any second. There's some mortification.
Oh!
And the great portal key to get away from the Magma Stun. A great initiation from Pharaoh on top of that. Well played by Fortune Bakery yet again. Engineer and Magnus will fall. And now they're going to make some pushing into the base, I'm sure. Cookies with the double tap. There was just several big plays right there, especially from Cookies. Coming out, but the mortification, man. I mean, you talked about that. The maxed out mortification, that's -4 magic armor. You have a level 2 silver bullet incoming on top of that. Dark Lady just melted, and Fortune Bakery is going to push up into the base now.
That was some fancy footwork there from Cookies.
Yeah.
That was really, really good. He got the silver bullet off. Bam! Dodge whatever. I can't forget what it was, but fantastic dodge right there with the portal key. And they're looking good, man. I'm sure they're feeling good, too. They're playing really well. And at that point, or I should say at this point, QsQ, there's really very little they can do. They do have the portal key on the Magnus. That's good for them. Did Style die right there? Yeah, he still died and still has a portal key. So they need to get 11 on him. And they basically need to wait until they push him to the base because they can't really pick a fight until that point. I mean, who can you kill? You have the Helm of the Black Legion now up on Pharaoh. He's already hard to kill with the Mummy Walls. Maybe Revenant, but has an Invis. You're going to need to invest some gold into, Dust or some Words of Revelation. You have the Blink on Witch. Silhouette's tanky with a Shrunken Head. It's just, you have no targets to go on right now. By the way, Shrunken Head complete on Witchslayer of all people.
It's come back to I mean, even Revenant, he has 1,200 life. He just finished an Astrolabe. Yeah, this is their bitch ward support.
Yeah.
I mean, you compare that to Engineer, Striders, and a couple of minor totems. So, to say the least, Revenant's having a much better time here. So.
Yep.
Yeah, all across the board, things just looking very, very good for Fortune Bakery once again. So Q Squad, no doubt. I mean, the trek, I said earlier, it's already going to be a long trek. It just got even longer after that. Again, just beautiful play from Fortune Bakery. It really was. And Q Squad just cannot seem to get it together here in game number 2 especially. So obviously, it goes back to them, and of course, they're still going to keep trying, as they should here. I mean, this is an elimination game for them in the sense that they moved on to the losers bracket if they lose this game right here. But it's going to be tough. Farrell, you mentioned the Helm of the Black Legion. He has another 2,300 gold saved up. I know a popular item on Farrell tends to be something like a barbed armor in this case. So we'll see if GG Slayer goes for that. Hell, Soul's Bulwark even I can see working for this team. They could use one. So he has plenty of options here. Yeah,
I think barbed is pretty much the signature item. It's you jump in, you make yourself susceptible. People can't attack you because if they do, they're gonna suffer. Also with the AOE coming out from Magnus, it's gonna hurt him as well, and he doesn't exactly have the largest HP pool.
Oh, in the meantime, Revenant going to get caught out right here. The Dark Blades come out. There's the Ward of Revelation. And Jenny goes in a bound die. Will drop on top of that. So pretty big pickoff in the end. But look at Tempest. Oh, man. Tempest has a huge chance right here. Now the bound die is going to spot him, though. And actually, now Tempest in a lot of trouble. He's going to get dove on. And a couple of great pickoffs coming out from Q Squad there. So big plays for them. And much, much needed.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate pickoff onto Revenant. Nothing really Creams could do. But it was a kind of a mistake by Mookie's. He should have known that the bound die was dropped and he wasn't safe there being invis. Even with the bound die not dropping, they have so many sentries coming out from Nova right now. He dropped one right there to kill Revenant. He has another one on him. So now they have the bound die onto Dark Lady, so he's going to have to play a little bit more careful on Revenant. And I will say that is the bane of Revenant, is that bound die. So makes it a lot more difficult to try to get those ganks off. He is level 11 though, so he can invis another person as well as himself.
Yeah, that is big, actually. Again, especially being that bitch ward support. I mean, the fact that he's even able to get level 11 on top of the farm he has. Pretty big deal, actually, for that hero. So, the level 16 Witch Slayer, speaking of level. So, he has a level 3 Silver Bullet. What is that? 850 magic damage just straight up coming in now. You get a Mortification on top of that, and obviously just amps that. Silhouette did finish her Geometer's Bane, so she is still ahead of this Dark Lady, and still, by a fair amount. But Dark Lady is, especially after what happened there. I mean, again, she continues to get fairly scary, and it goes back to the point we were making earlier and you make all the time, is that Dark Lady is she can, she's a great fighter, great hard carry against a Silhouette specifically. So that's where if you are Q Squad, you still have that hope for sure, as big of a deficit as it is early on. I mean, now in the mid-game, but they still got that working for them at least.
Well, I will say the fact that Silhouette had an early shrunken head and still has that shrunken head, it's going to make Dark Lady's effectiveness go down a considerable amount. You're not going to be able to take that. Well, you're still going to take the extra damage from Dark Ladies, but you're not going to be able to get silenced. Here's the big thing. And the silence is very good because so many people do get Nullstone on the Silhouette. Obviously, the silence goes through that, and you can't port away from your illusion and things like that. But, with the shrunken head at, the 22-minute mark, something like that, it's very, very good against Dark Lady.
Counter warning going on, but speaking of Shrunken Head, Dark Lady is going to have her own actually coming up here very shortly. She just needs to clean up maybe another creep wave and should be good to go, but needs to do it quickly because in the meantime, look at the bottom lane. In fact, the Legion team grouping up as 5. They are going to start pushing into the base. You do see the Portakey. Oh, very aggressive Portakey from Witch. So using that Shrunken Head, trying to finish off Magnus, but the Tablet. Oh, what a rat to the Pharaoh coming in. Is that going to work out though? He taps out, not enough for the kill, but the Tempest ultimate in the background. Look at the big dive here from Fortune Bakery. The cover of darkness coming up, but it's not going to matter. Dark Lady will fall right there. She cannot buy back. She just purchased the Shrunken Head. She is not buying bounce in, but it's not going to matter. Bubble's not trying to survive. The Astral APO coming out. Magnus channeling that eruption, but they realize that and they fall back quickly. The eruption doing basically nothing right there for them. The dive is still happening from the Legion team right here. Silhouette in the background with the Death Lotus nuke. Down goes Engineer. Magnus does in, but Magnus is going to end up falling. It looks like coming out of that steam bath. Power supply going to be used. He will fall though. Level 16 Bubbles in the background. They get a pick up on a Witch there. He'll Portakey away and survive, but the damage definitely done here by Fortune Baker. And yeah, you look at where they are. Revenant is going to port out actually. And they'll fall back. But man, oh man, that was a clutch Tempest ultimate.
That is the definition of manning up. Like, if you wrote manning up in the HoN dictionary, you'd have that little replay happen. That was pretty fun to watch. Seeing a Tempest, they don't even have the tower down, and seeing that Tempest ultimate right there, basically 500 range away from the fountain. That was very, very, ballsy, but very fun to watch. Did Cookies get a regenerate or did he just
no.
buy out? He bought out.
He bought out. I will say, was that the smartest thing to do? I don't know. I mean, did take a lot of time. I mean, they did get the Dark Lady killed. Now, she is back up, though. And she does have that Shrunken Head still good to go, of course. So they get the tower kill, and they are going to fall back. So in the end, it obviously is going to work out, it seems like. For them. Oh, Witchslayer's going to have to nice Shrunken Head and a portal key from Cookies right there. Definitely necessary. So
yeah.
Helps them get away, but... Yeah, I mean, again, it was fun to watch, sure, but was that the smartest choice? Maybe not, but hey, it still works out.
Well, okay, smartest choice, safest choice? No. But did it pay off? Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it paid off heavily. Look at it. Their lead was 14K, 13K experience in gold, 20K now. So it clearly paid off. Might not have been the safest decision, but they definitely made it work. I think the biggest thing is, as you mentioned, right when we saw the Shrunken Head up on a Tempest, is they have absolutely no way to counter it. The only thing they can do is to push book people out of it. That's it. As far as canceling that ultimate, not going to happen.
You saw right there, actually, Hellborn team and QsQ, they try to get a little bit tricky. They try to Ninja Congo even, but not even going to get close. I mean, you're dealing with a Pharaoh especially. He's just the master of scouting out that Kongor. 12 minutes old goes in, and immediately they fall back. So, of course, if you're QsQ, I mean, you are in a spot where you do need to make some desperate moves. I mean, you need to take some big risks yourself, speaking of risks, and see if it pays off. But that was kind of one of them, but again, not able to execute. They will have to fall back. But they're sticking together as they kind of need to do. If they spread out, the Legion team will by all means take advantage of that as they have been throughout this game. In fact, here we go. Witchslayer jumps on the bubbles, but not going to fall. Again, the Shrunken Head. And again, he's going to be fine. He just ports out in front of them, almost just laughing in their face, kind of like you were. And
man.
yeah, and did he port? Okay, he ported back to base, yeah. But now, actually, they're going to try to catch bubbles again. Nope, portal key away. And he'll be fine. But
Cookies is a man. He's the man. He's just... The thing is, it's funny because it seems kind of trollish, but that's the exact same. That's the exact play you'd have to make. Yeah. You go in there, you find out it's the bait. Mission abort. You can't even just use a Shrunken Head or walk away because they can pummel auto attacks into you and kill you that way and wait till your Shrunken Head's down. So he had to TP out. It was a fantastic play. It kind of went wrong, but he made the best of a bad situation. And that just goes to show you the composure and just the sheer talent.
Well, yeah, no, I think that's a great point again to stress, especially with a player like Cookies. Sure, not the most competitive experience, let alone this team, but TMM, I mean, these guys play a lot of games, specifically Cookies, and I think I don't know if he is now, but I think he's the top, at least in America, at least MMR goes. Whether or not top of the world, I'm not sure, but he's up there. He has been up there, and, that definitely speaks for something, for sure. It's obviously, it is a different game in the end, but at the same time, the individual skill's definitely there. So.
Oh, absolutely. He's one of the honestly, I think he's one of the most talented players in the game. I'll go ahead and say that. He just understands his micro is fantastic. His solo skill is awesome. And as a team right now, Fortune Bakery is playing really, really well. It's a very fun game to watch. I'll tell you that.
It is, and again, this is a team we've known is a fun team to watch, but it's again continuing. It's always still fun to see them and kind of experience that. But again, they're up 1-0 against QsQ, looking very strong in here. Game number 2, they're going to push the bottom lane in. Silhouette, she's ready to go. She has a Geometer's Bane, the Shrunken Head. She is going to sit there in the front lines. Baytown Magnus will stun in, but 0 follow-up after that. And the invulnerability was already used. So the melee Rax is actually going to drop right here. Nullstone, or not Nullstone, but actually they're going to jump here onto Silhouette in the meantime. She does put up the Wrath of the Pharaoh, going to miss in the background. Dark Lady in the foreground, actually. Is that the smartest decision, though? She was talking, there's a Tempest. Oh, he got silenced, actually, by Engineer right there. The energy field silences Tempest. He still has an ultimate, and actually Silhouette does get picked off. So this is working out fairly well for QsQ, as Aluna the only one to fall. And I think Fortune Bakery will have to fall back. That was just unfortunate for Mookies there.
Yeah, it was. I don't think he saw the energy field coming down, and obviously you can't like blink and then use your Shrunken Head afterwards. Yeah. Once you blink right into that, you get silenced immediately, and you can't pop that Shrunken Head afterwards. They're staying up here. This could be a big mistake by Fortune Bakery. They pick off Cookies immediately. There's the ultimate, but it's canceled immediately. The Shrunken Head's down. This is a big mistake from Fortune Bakery. They are kind of throwing this. Obviously, they still have a massive lead. Now the aggression coming on to Revenant. They do have vision of him. Yes, they do. The bound eye is up onto Engineer, and he will fall most definitely. He's trying to do some juking and jiving, but it's just simply not enough. He actually avoids the keg stun. In the meantime, you actually have Pharaoh being pursued. The snipe comes out, hurts him just a little bit more. The Hellfire doing a little bit of damage, but oh man, that was a very poor engagement and poor decision making from Fortune Bakery.
Okay, what we saw right there, I think, and as we gave them a lot of credit, but at the same time, that is a downside of a team like Fortune Bakery, the lack of just overall experience, and I think that definitely played a role right there. Again, just why were they doing what they were doing right there? Yeah. It just made absolutely no sense. Your hard carry's dead. You don't have a Shrunken Head on Tempest. it made zero sense. And they still went in. They tried to still force a fight, and QsQ capitalized. And that's where their experience comes into play. So, and they're going to get Congo on top of this. This is actually going to be huge. I mean, sure, the lead is still very nice for Fortune Bakery as far as gold and experience goes, but I don't know. I mean, QsQ, it's going to be big. We're going to see a token of life now on Dark Liddy. She has 3,800 gold saved up. Fortune Bakery needs to be careful here.
Yeah, they do need to be careful. There's two things, basically, that's going to be huge fight or huge playmakers in the upcoming team fights. So one is the Dark Lady ultimate. It's so devastating. If you have someone in the front, like, say, Silhouette, and you get initiation onto him, you use that Dark Lady ultimate on everybody else behind. They don't know what's going on. Silhouette dies. You're automatically put in a team fight 4-on-5. I've seen it so many times. It's so powerful. The other thing you have working for them is the Tempest ultimate. The Shrunken Head, there's nothing. We've talked about this. There's nothing that can cancel that. So it's going to be the work of those two things. Also, if Pharaoh decides to get an item today.
Yeah.
Because he's been sitting on a lot of gold. Definitely. I mean, obviously, he wants to get that Hellflower. Just hasn't had enough gold to really purchase anything. Bubbles also has a lot of gold pulled up himself. So Dark Lady, though, I mean, he's going to get a lot of damage. He actually goes for Soul's Bulwark. So pulls up that much gold, then goes for a Bulwark. Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But Dark Lady pulling up a lot of gold. You're going to start doing out a lot of damage. So this is not over just yet, Fortune Bakery.
Well, again, keep going back to the Tempest. As we saw last fight, I mean, sure, with the Shrunken Head, you are unstoppable. They cannot stop you if you have the Shrunken Head activated. But without it, they have every way to stop you. I mean,
yeah.
Like pretty much every single hero has a way to stop you if you do cast that without the Shrunken Head. And we saw that last fight. I mean, he went in and immediately got canceled. So yeah, it's just don't force it. Arcana has been picked up, so maybe a Restoration Stone is going to be the works. And obviously, having a double ultimate will be big. But yeah, Dark Lady is getting scary, man. Other items, I mean, what else do they have over here on the Hellborn side? They're going to get another tablet. They already have one on Magnus, one on Bubbles. Aluna's also working on one, so they'll have 3 tablets. You know, you mentioned heroes like Pharaoh especially, very big. And hell, against that Tempest, the only way, as you kind of hinted at, was sure you can't stop him, but tablet your teammates out at least is maybe an idea. So
yeah, but absolutely. I mean, it's a fantastic pickup against this team. It really is. Pharaoh and Tempest having that hole. So Tempest.
Silhouette bought back, by the way. Did you even notice that?
Did you do it just now?
No, she bought back, I believe, in the last fight.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't even aware of that, but
kind of a useless buyout then, because normally, obviously, you see the impact when they buy out when they come back in a team fight. So must have been a rage buyout of some sort.
Well, again, not a huge deal, but
one of the things, Austin, I talked about this before, that you can do with Silhouette is fantastic. Is you can actually, if your ultimate is up, the illusion or the shadow ability is called, you can actually still die and then port back to it if you buy out. It's kind of ridiculous in my opinion. But
yeah, that's pretty powerful, yeah. Well, they were pushing the top lane somewhat, but they decided to port back and start pushing out their middle lane in the meantime. Silhouette does have a Savage Mace, so speaking of that buyback that she used,
yeah,
she still had enough gold to ultimately purchase that as well, so her damage output obviously is ridiculous now. Bubbles, Portal King away at the bottom lane. He knows some pressure's coming, so he's going to go ahead and Homecoming Stone back to base and be fine. Remember, though, Token of Life is still up on Nox here, playing this Dark Lady. He has about 345 remaining. Hellflower just purchased right there by Bubbles, by the way. So he has that now to work with. Again, just another big item here for QsQ. Definitely an item that will help them come back.
Oh, yeah.
If any, so.
Absolutely. I mean, if they get the jump onto Silhouette with that Hellflower and then jump from Magnus and Dark Lady uses that ultimate, charges in, silences everybody, it can be very effective. I will say, I honestly feel like a Blink or a Portal Key onto Silhouette would win them the game. Like, I feel like it would just secure them in the game. You jump in, you get the jump with Witch, Pharaoh, and Silhouette, what have you, and then you start dishing damage onto whoever. It's going to make the Hellborn team clump up and try to save whoever it is.
Yeah.
And as a result, that's going to give a very, very easy queue and easy time for Tempest to jump in there with a Shrunken Head ultimate. So I really feel like Portal Key needs to be picked up on Silhouette here. I really, really do. There's the third tablet command actually up on Hellborn.
Yeah, so Luna going to have her delivered now. Now we see right here. Here we go. Fortune Bakery. They're the ones going to be the aggressors. Remember, Token of Life is on Dark Lady here. Silhouette in the front end. Oh, she's going balls to the wall. She activates the Shrunken Head. Actually, she's going for the quick kill. She will get an engineer. Will this work out though in the end? The Dark Lady getting locked down. Actually, Tempest still not jumping in just yet. There's that Tempest ultimate. But Dark Lady will fall. Now she's going to come right back up. Here's the count of the eruption from Mammoth. That's a huge eruption right there. Tempest dropping. Tempest will fall. Silhouette still up in the background. She's pounding an auto attacks at Dark Lady actually. And maybe Dark Lady will fall. She's charging strikes in. But yes, Dark Lady will go down right there. She has the buyback money, though. She buys back right there. Fortune Maker needs to be careful about that. Lunas goes down, but Magnus does it, and here comes Dark Lady. Pharaoh's going to get torn up. Witch there is going to fall as well. Silhouette not realizing it. Revenant trying to assist, but Silhouette will die in the end. The Dark Lady buyback absolutely huge. Revenant trying to stay alive. That's not going to happen, though. And a genocide coming out for Q Squad there in the end. Fighting into a token of life.
Yeah.
Not usually the best decision.
It really isn't. Had they not had a token of life, it would have been different. That was actually, it looked kind of crazy from Silhouette jumping in there, but getting the fast kill and engineer was very effective. But the ultimate, honestly, from Tempest was pretty abysmal. Like you got the Dark Lady, but like you said, it was a Dark Lady with a token. Why not kill someone else? Like she has a token. She probably has a lot of gold pulled up, obviously, because she bought back as well. So they're just not picking these fights. You don't have to force it. Like you mentioned, you just simply don't have to force it. Just farm out their side of the map, keep pushing out lanes. There's no reason to rush it at all, and just Fortune Bakery not making good decisions. But at the same time, QsQ, they're fighting hard. Dark Lady's dishing out a lot of damage, making some good decisions, buying out right there as she needed to, saving the racks, and actually winning that team fight.
Now, they actually fall back before they finish either tower here. A little bit interesting. I thought for sure they were going to get both towers, but well, the creep wave still might clear it up. Tempest's going to come into the middle, the bottom tower. It's going to get close, but yeah, it'll still stay alive. So I don't know about that. I mean, it seems like they could have at least got one, if not both. But
I agree.
Hey, they will fall back. They are going to just play it safe, and the resurrections are starting to come through in the end here. So, yeah, Fortune Bakery again. Every chance to kind of calm things down and eventually take this game with a victory, but making some poor decisions, definitely. QsQ capitalizing, and here we go. We are now 44 minutes in just about, and just like the first game, really, when you think about it, I mean, again, Fortune Bakery, they were looking really good. Q Squad, though, climbed back in, and all of a sudden it seemed like Q Squad had momentum, which they definitely did. But then in the end, Fortune Bakery, of course, was victorious. So you kind of wonder if it's going to be a similar stance to that game, or if Q Squad's actually going to pull through this time around and maybe make that comeback officially happen and force the third and final game here. So obviously still plenty of game left. Having a double Tempest ultimate, of course, will be huge. He has an Arcana still, and I'm sure that is going to eventually turn into a Restoration Stone. As we have a little pause coming out here, but yeah, I mean, level 16 Revenant actually going to be coming up in the near future too. Of course, having that level 2 Manifestation will be nice. That is a really fun spell to watch. It dishes out a lot of damage. It propagates to 2 different units on top of yourself. And, yeah, it's a really good spell. Vote to pause coming out. But they kind of thrown this just a little bit. They got to be careful. Dark Lady is going to dish out so much damage. You're going to need to start buying some Void Talismans, especially onto Witch Slayer. Revenant's going to need one, too. It looks like he's been trying to get this push book for so long now, but just isn't able to do that. But, yeah. They've closed the gap a considerable amount. Oh, it shows, obviously, and the experience especially, let alone the gold. I mean, still, again, it's a 10,000 gold lead. So you look at it that way. I mean, by all means, if you're Fortune Bakery, you still are in the lead. But with the way these last couple of fights have gone and with the kind of forcing, if their decision-making doesn't get a little bit, or it doesn't get fine-tuned a little bit better here, then Q Squad most certainly will, complete a comeback. But still, 44.5 minutes in. At the same time, Fortune Bakery's base is still yet to even take damage. They still have actually every single outer tower left, secondary at least. So, I do, as we have a pause, I do have a couple of updates. One is Domain of Pain 1, 2-0 over TT Esports. So they will face Complexity in the next round. Ooh. I'm just going to throw it out there. That could be a pretty damn good game to cast. I think we're going to cast that match, yeah. I think a lot of people... Testy versus Moon, guys! Here, again, another chance for that. Last time they played, Testy had something come up last minute, apparently. So, that happened. We'll see it this time around. My cat's on fire. Gotta go. Other than that, One Trick Pony did... It says it in F right here next to Lion Esports, so maybe they maybe won the first game and then forfeited the second. Yeah, that could possibly be. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. Other things, Gary Johnson obviously got the forfeit over Experience Gaming from them not showing up. Denny's Jungle Devils is 1 game over Pikachu. I don't know. Let me double check and see if they're actually still in that game. Mega Beaver, they're still in the game, it looks like. And actually, it looks like Pikachu is is on top of this game. About 44 minutes, they're winning 21-14 hero kills and a ton of assists. My God, 47 assists to 19. So it looks like that might go to a game 3. And then, of course, this game, QsQ Fortune Bakery. Fortune Bakery's in the lead 1-0, but we're in game 2. QsQ 7-7, 2-0 is Vitriolic Gaming, so they're going to move on to the next round. I believe that was a rematch. I think QsQ 777 beat them in the Haunter qualifiers, actually, to move on. That team, man, I mean, they have finished, I want to say, 7th or 8th or something like that overall in the qualifiers. And a team that we just really don't know much about, but obviously looking pretty good. And they're going to be playing the winner this year, which, again, could very likely be Fortune Bakery. But QsQ, now that I think about it, they could actually be playing their teammates in a sense as well if the QsQ does come through and win the series in the end. But so yeah, those are some nice updates right there. Again, HoNtour.com. You can really find out all that information for yourself. So not necessarily have to rely on us to relay that information as much as we do like doing that, of course. But it is all there for you to check out at HoNtour.com.
Right.
It looks like QsQ is ready to go though, and I believe the Legion team and Fortune Baker, they were ready as well. So once they get the message, then we'll be good to go here and resume game number 2. Now, Farrell, you mentioned all that gold saved up, and he went to Soul's Bulwark. He has another 2,700 gold saved up. I mean, so I guess, is he just going to be going for Demonic Breastplate at this point?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, I was giving him a little bit of crap, but I was just kind of playing around. Demonic is going to be great, especially up against that Dark Lady, and it's going to be good, especially give your team just a little bit more armor, the negative armor on top of the other team, and the towers. Yeah, it's going to be fine.
A little bit of pushing by each team there. And the bottom lane was being pushed in by Silhouette and Witchslayer. In the meantime, the top lane, Dark Lady was pushing it in, but they all fall back for now and going to be fine with just farming other lanes. So what's that?
He did finally. Maybe he used it last time too. Yeah, he did. I just wasn't even caught up. But yeah, the portal key on Silhouette is much needed and does have that.
Oh
finally,
yeah.
So
yeah,
good for him. Cookie's in a little sticky situation. Oh, I hope he does not farm that. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. Yes, he does not get the blink away, actually. The health flower is applied, which they're going to be in a lot of trouble. One more auto attack does break the kelp field, so wow. Very unfortunate. Actually, another vote to pause. Maybe that had something to do with it. But that's a big pickoff. He has no buyout. They could easily push into the base, I think.
Bubbles just destroyed Cookies right there. I mean, the health flower obviously having a double damage ring doesn't hurt, but man. I mean,
he did have a DD.
Yeah, having a double damage hit, obviously, that was a big part of that. But still, that's big jump there. And you said it. I mean, obviously, his boss, Mookie, is going to reconnect, apparently. But Witchslayer is down for 70 seconds. He is not coming back before then. And obviously, QsQ, they are going to capitalize here. This is big. This is huge for them. 5,800 gold being pulled up, by the way, and Darklead on top of everything. I know the stats say Fortune Baker's in the lead right now, but especially after the kill, what we're looking at right here, I think QsQ just has everything going for them right now.
Yep.
Fortune Bakery, really, they're the ones on their heels now. Again, their base hasn't been touched yet, but their middle is going to get pushed in here. I mean, they're going to lose at least the secondary tower, maybe even the base tower, and, well, we'll see if the racks even fall on top of that.
I see this all the time, is they try to get a little bit overzealous, and they're like, well, we got to make sure we push them out before, or, fight them before Witchslayer comes up. They just need to be in all defense mode. Like, complete defense mode, spam out with the rockets, spam out with your Death Lotus, spam out even with your W from, or your Mortification from Revenant. Just throw down some creeps or something, but do everything you can to push them without engaging in a team fight. Give as much time as you can to Witchslayer. That means maybe letting your tower, your tier 2 tower in mid die, your base tower die.
Revenant. What are you doing, Revenant? What are you doing?
Wow.
Oh, dear God. How did they not jump him? I thought for sure he was dead.
The health flower was down from Bubbles. So.
Yeah, okay. But, yeah.
And Magnus isn't there. So, okay, they just want to take some outer towers, I suppose. There are 3, including that one.
Silhouette gonna jump Magnus, so Magnus will fall. Look at the burst damage from Kling Plato right there. Now, he needs to be a little bit careful. Of course, the train is coming over, but I think he will be fine. Well, that was a great answer coming out from the Legion team for sure. And I guess, yeah, QsQ's not going to get as much as they nearly thought out of that. I mean, Witchlayer's still dead for another 30 seconds, but yeah, they're going to fall back and continue to farm instead.
They could have easily got that tower had Style not died. I mean, if he was with them, they could have maybe even got the base tower, if not just, poked at the racks just a little bit. So yeah. I'm not sure what he was doing down there, honestly. They didn't even need to push the lane with all 5 of those people right there and having Witchslayer dead. Look at the HP on the defense tower. They could have just backdoored it.
Oh, the bottom, yeah, wow. That is very low. What was the top one doing? The top one had only a little bit of damage on it, but yeah, bottom one they could definitely backdoor it, as you said. Dark Lady, she does purchase a Frostwolf Skull. I believe she really has enough money.
Yeah.
She's going to farm a little bit more, but she will have enough money for her final buyback too. So yeah, she's in a great spot, as of course that puts QsQ in a great spot on top of that, delivering herself a couple of homecoming stones, of course. So big deal. Speaking of buybacks, Silhouette also has buyback money herself, 2,700 gold saved up. So, and she too is down to 1 buyback. So looking at that situation, herself and a Witch there, 1 buyback. Dark Liddy and a Luna also sitting on 1 buyback. So, oh, they're going to jump right here on Engineer. They're going to get a quick pick. Oh, the Storm Spirit at the last second, but I believe he's going to fall at the end. Yes, it will connect despite the tablet away. So they now have a push chance here. Engineer's dead. He is not buying back. Then Melee Rax is going to start dropping. Demonic Breastplate has been finished on Feral, by the way. So they have that to work with. Here we go, though. Dark Liddy with the Shuriken activated. A lot of Shuriken heads. And Bobble's going to get caught out. Bobble's will fall off the bat. Dark Liddy in the back. They're going to go straight for Tempest. They will get the kill, but will it matter? Mummy Wall goes up around Dark Liddy, and Silhouette has absolute free reign now onto the Dark Liddy. What a charging strikes there by Nox as the Eruption comes out of the background, and Dark Liddy will barely survive. Witch they're also still alive, and the portal keys away. Cookie somehow still living through all of that as the Courier also going to fall back. Wow. Oh, only a 1-for-1 exchange there. My God.
I know. I feel like there was another. Oh yeah, Jonas Fan bought out right there onto Bubble. So basically, it was a 1-for-2, and then they used the buyout from him. Nova died immediately. Mookie's just played too far up. He needs to wait. He got engaged on. That was probably Rex if he had got that ultimate off and just played a little bit further back. So not able to get all the engagements that they want to. But the good start there from Cookies, getting that initial jump. But look at this. Kongor is up and ready to slay. That's going to be huge. Using their Hellborn advantage is QsQ, and I don't think that Legion team can really do anything about it. I don't think they have any idea.
They can't.
Even if they do, look at how fast it's dying.
Yeah, it's going to be way too fast. I mean, they're heading over. They have an idea. In fact, there's a Tormented Soul to guarantee. I don't know. It's going to be close, if anything. And the Hellborn team going to jump first. But there's the rat to the Feral. Feral jumps into Dark Liddy. Dark Liddy trying to strike, but Dark Liddy will fall. Silhouette also in the midst of that. Going to pound into Magnus now. Magnus gets into the Steam Bath, but the Water Revelation making it difficult. He will Storm Spirit in the air, but he falls as soon as he comes down despite the Lava Surge. Energy Field coming up right there. Revenant actually in an awkward spot now. He may be in some trouble as Dark Liddy, of course, she does buy back. That is her final buyback. She goes right for Silhouette, and Silhouette is going to start dropping. Essence tried activated though. There's one for the Tempest ultimate coming out for Fortune Victory. A look at Silhouette with the damage output. Dark Liddy will come back in though, and Aluna off to the side assisting for Silhouette, but the stuns on Dark Liddy will get the kill. They will get the kill eventually on a Silhouette. Now they're going to go on to Feral. Feral taking the damage. Dark Liddy actually falling back somewhat. Feral's tanky, man. Tempest coming back in, but Bubbles joins the party again. He uses his final buyback. Demonic Breastplate, or excuse me, Feral will go down. Tempest will go down. And actually, Kongor may be finished off. No, Silhouette bought back, and she is running back in. So Dark Liddy smartly falling back as well. Oh my God, what an insane fight.
That was a crazy fight. Finally, a fantastic ultimate from Mookies. It did a lot of damage. You got a lot of buyouts used. Nox has none. Jonas Fan has none. And of course, now Silhouette doesn't have any. But I do think that actually Fortune Bakery did come out on top right in that fight. They do have the Tempest ult down on cooldown. That's a scary thing. And they have a ward, actually. Creams has placed one into Kongor, but look how low it is. I feel like they can snipe it out very quickly. King Plato needs to stay in the vicinity, but even then, it's kind of risky to jump in like that. He does have a shrunken head. They know he's being taken, and it's just too much damage. It will go down.
Yeah, it's easily going down. I mean, yeah, not even going to get it there in time with the illusion. And they will finish it off in the end. Dark Liddy gets another token alive. Big indeed, especially when you look at the fact that she does not have a buyback just like Silhouette. So this really comes down to that circumstance. If you're Q Squad, if you get that jump on Silhouette, if you kill her, I mean, the game's over pretty much. Obviously, this is some of the things that come into play, sure, but there's no buying back. She ain't coming back, whereas Dark Liddy now with a token of life has that resurrection to work with. So huge there indeed. This game just continues to be so insane, though. What a series we have here. I mean, Game 1 definitely was entertaining already. Game 2 even a step up at the bottom lane. Bubbles being jumped. Can he get the portal key time? No, he cannot. Tablets away, actually. Is it going to be enough? Silhouette pounding the damage, using that shrunken in another take cover. There's the portal key. And actually, Jonas Fan making a big getaway right there. It is going to be enough in the end as the homecoming stones away. So good getaway from Jonas Fan. And in the meantime, a couple of the other lanes being pushed in, but actually Dark Liddy in the meantime in the middle lane. Oh, there's the Wrath of the Pharaoh coming in, and in follows actually a Revenant as well. But look at the turnaround from Dark Liddy. The support is there as well from Engineer and Magnus. They're turning around onto Pharaoh. In jumps Witch there with the Graveyard Stun, but he needs to fall back. Dark Liddy gets tableted forward actually. He needs to be careful. There's the Morph, and actually Witch there portal keys away. They know this is a fight they cannot take just yet. So good save. I mean, Pharaoh is damn tanky, man.
He is really tanky. He has basically 23 armor, and all his spells as well. Mummy's the Hell in the Black Legion. 2200 HP. Yeah, he's pretty damn tanky. Actually, initiation here.
Oh, Revenant going to jump on a great graveyard start coming out. And here's our turnaround chance. Darklady, she hasn't taken a life, remember, but she's going to get locked down. Magnus gets killed in the background. Darklady is going to be chased on. The Wrath of the Pharaoh in the background catches a couple of support. Darklady will pick up the kill in the Tempest, though. But in the meantime, Silhouette panicking damage to the support in the background. Now putting into Darklady. Darklady will go down. Can they capitalize? Witchslayer is ready with the Hex. There's the Hex. Yep. Has the graveyard start to follow shortly. The Mana Drain even being used. Darklady will follow. No, she jumps on a Revenant, but it's not going to matter. Darklady goes down, and Fortune Bakery may have done it right there. It's a genocide she cannot buy back, and they are just finally going to go for that cutthroat push.
They should know by now. Bubbles doesn't have any buyouts. Darkly doesn't have buyouts. Tempest actually bought it right there because he had 3 seconds left on his ulti cooldown, but the slow was too much from Darkly. He actually did fall, but buys out right there. There's nothing QsQ can do right now to defend this push.
Yeah.
Having their 2 biggest heroes right now with no buyouts available. Actually, Magnus doesn't even have a buyout, so this is going to be Raxon. Could possibly be the game right here.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, it goes back to the point again. Is in this scenario, when you don't have buybacks, especially on your hard carries, you kill that hard carry, you're more than not win the game. And I think Fortune Bakery may have done that right there. They take out the melee racks. They're going to go for the range racks. They're going to go right bottom. Darklady still has 30 seconds. Bubbles has another 20 seconds. I mean, Darklady is one thing, but having not even Bubbles dead, it's over. I mean, the Fortune Baker is going to clean that up. I mean, I guess it's not technically over in the sense that QsQ is not going to concede just yet, but it's going to be tough. But you know what? After what we saw at DreamHack, though, I'm going to shut up.
Yep. I wouldn't say it's over.
Never mind. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's over because there is still a full racks up, and you have a lot of farm on Darklady. It is crazy. It's a very, very fantastic lead, but you know even though with that big pickoff and that big fight for them, you still have no buyouts on King Plato on a Silhouette. So if you initiate a fight as you're pushing in, you kill King Plato right away. The same exact thing could happen for QsQ. They can get us 2 sets of racks as well.
Very true, very true.
So the ultimate is still up on Mookie. He has one more buyout if he wants. He's trying to get the refresher, but with the buyout and dying a couple times, he's 3-7. Just simply isn't able to really get any farm for that. But he just needs to stand back. He just needs to get an ultimate on anybody at this point.
Yeah. Again, it keeps, especially since he cannot be stopped. I mean, if he gets a Shrunken Head off, I mean, he will have a free, what is it, 4-second lockdown, whatever it is. Yeah, the 4 seconds. So, Darklady went Rip Shards, by the way. Again, she's at a buyback, just massing the damage here.
I think Silhouette accidentally popped her Shrunken. She just rebought it, actually. It's going to be 41 seconds. She just rebought it, and then but popped it before that. So it's on cooldown for another 37 seconds. So that could be pretty bad.
Depending on what happens here from Q-Squad, if they commit to a push, then it can definitely cause some issues. But it is coming up fairly quickly, and I don't know if it's going to have the biggest impact here. We'll see. I mean, now remember, she still has a symbol of rage use. In fact, they're going to jump on Engineer. Engineer is going to be bursted down right off the bat. What he's doing in the foreground, but here we go. More initiation now happening. Shrunken Head activated by Darklady, which is going to be... But there's the Tempest ultimate that they were waiting for. Monkeys gets a hell of a one off. The Mortification. Magnus will fall. A loot off to the side is going to go down. Darklady is going to be picked off. And now that should definitely do it. GG well plays are being called. Fortune Bakery will take game number 2 here against Q-Squad. And as a result, move on to the round of 8 here in the Diamond Division. Holy crap, what a game we just had there. It's a series even, a very entertaining series. And again, somewhat of an upset. Fortune Bakery takes out Q-Squad 2-0.
I mean, coming up to DreamHack, and then, of course, now right after DreamHack in the first round of HoN Tour, Q-Squad just, they haven't really had it. I mean, they haven't looked the same. At the same time, I was very impressed by Fortune Bakery in the way that they played. And finally, to end that off with a huge Tempest ultimate, saved Cookies there with like 50 HP or something like that. Actually got a huge triple stun into the Tempest ultimate. But like we mentioned, just the trap, that was the first pick. And Tempest made some big plays there at the end. But yeah, Q-Squad just haven't really felt like they've been their same.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we stressed it all throughout the series, so not to keep beating on them in that sense, but it is clear, you know, something is a little bit different, but there's a lot of events alone that, you know, as time goes on, I'm sure we'll see some transitions. But hey, Fortune Bakery, man, they're moving on to the round of 8 here in the winners bracket, so congratulations to them. Like you said, they're going to be playing now Q-Squad 777 there in the next round. That, of course, will be happening later on today, so I'm sure they're looking forward to that. I'm sure they're feeling pretty good, but Q-Squad dropping down to the losers bracket, and, of course, now where that puts them, I'm going to go and refresh my bracket real quickly, see if anything's updated there. But so now I believe they're going to be playing Vitriolic, I want to say, in the losers bracket, actually. is what it comes down to. So yeah, I believe they're going to be matched up against Vitriolic down there. And, you know, Vitriolic is a solid team. The loser of that will be going to gold next cycle. Again, we have 16 very quality teams here, so it's always going to be a little bit interesting to see which the bottom 4 teams are going to be for sure. But I can't say I expect a Q squad. But, you know, they lose here in the first series. Their backs are against the wall, to say the least, against Vitriolic. So we'll keep an eye on how that series goes. Again, all those matches are going to be played as well later on today, just like the round of 8 here in the winners bracket. But yeah, we're off to a fun start here, Trell.
Absolutely. Big congratulations to Fortune Bakery. I know, as you talked about, or I talked about actually, they didn't really scrim at all, but you know, this is basically a huge scrim for them because they haven't really had any practice coming up to this point, but looking pretty good even without all that practice.
Yeah, they are. So congratulations to them again, and we'll see. Keep an eye on that. Now, the next round of matches, they are set to start in about a half an hour from now, actually, if I'm not mistaken. So, of course, we are going to take a break here ourselves. I believe we plan to keep the stream on, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, there's no so we're going to keep the stream on. It's just obviously not a whole lot of time here. So we're going to keep the stream on and maybe give you some updates here and there. But we are going to be coming back, and the next match we plan to cast is, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be having fun with this one, Complexity Gaming versus Domain of Pain in the winners bracket round of 8. So that is going to be fun, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot wait for that. Again, about a half an hour from now, we'll be coming back and hopefully looking to cover that. So. Yeah. Stay tuned for that, but until then, again, big congratulations to Fortune Bakery. We're going to be wrapping up here for now. Stay tuned, though. We'll be back about half an hour. For myself, BreakingCPK, at Trelfman on Twitter.
And at BreakingCPK.
Also the HoNcast at HoNcast, the HoNcast Facebook. Definitely follow us for updates and everything. Shout out to Killer Orange. Shout out to you guys. We'll be back about half an hour from now. Complexity taking on Domain of Pain. Stay tuned, guys.